Hi everyone, welcome to Foxon Media Digital. My name's Amy and today I'm joined by Maryse Gordon, who is Partnerships and Business Development Manager at RepRisk. So hi Maryse, great to have you on the channel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, it's our pleasure. And you are our partner at the Summit for Asset Management ESG London a couple of weeks back. So we wanted to catch up ahead of the Christmas break just to find out a bit more about yourself and your company. So would you mind telling us a little bit about RepRisk, yourself, your data set, and what you're doing?
Absolutely. So RepRisk is a ESG data science company, and we are providing both qualitative and quantitative research to our clients. The data that we have is all about helping firms understand greater responsible business conduct as well as ESG risk management. And the tool that we have is very much about supporting the identification, the assessment, and the monitoring of ESG risk across business relationships, internal operations, and also investments. Our methodology is designed to focus on risk. It only looks at the negative connotations of ESG for both companies as well as infrastructure projects. And one of the unique things about what we do is that we take an outside in approach to the source of input of our research. So we only look at publicly available data, very much omitting anything that maybe is reported by a company themselves. We have a great combination between AI machine learning and human intelligence. So that's really about speed, scale of delivery, as well as ensuring quality assurance. And our data set is updated on a daily basis, sorry. We have metrics and a vast history spanning back to 2007. So in total, what we're providing is company profiles, project profiles that provides insight into risks associated with over 100 ESG categories. And our data is very much used as an enabler to both our clients and our partners in providing greater transparency on ESG risk in companies and, as mentioned, infrastructure projects.
That's fantastic. Yeah, really great introduction there. And it sounds like there's certainly a need for that in the market from what we're seeing when it comes to all those different risk factors out there that influence asset managers' data strategies. So, in light of that, then, given your specialization in this, what are the kind of key industry themes that you're seeing from your clients? When it comes to ESG risk data, for example, it could be within the infrastructure projects or across the board. What kind of things are you seeing?
Yes, there's actually quite a few things that we see coming up recently. So, with many regulations requiring deeper focus and assessment on third-party risk, we see a lot of supply chain due diligence questions coming up, and that's a very common theme for firms. That specifically is related to things like climate-related risk management and human rights abuses. So, they're two topics that have been brought to many conversations at corporates as well as financial institutions with RepRisk. Within the corporate space, I think a lot of them are being asked for more detailed questions and answers by their suppliers, by their vendors, by their investors, and also their business partners on what their due diligence procedures are. And therefore, they require a more robust and scalable solution to support these types of requests. So that's one theme that we see. We also see within the private equity space the development of more advanced pre-investment due diligence processes as well as ongoing monitoring processes. And so that very much aids with their decision making and investor reporting. So that's another theme that we see at RepRisk. And we also see consultants and technology vendors really looking to solve for many of these regulatory related implementations. So supporting underlying clients with things like SFDR, UNGC principle alignment, the German Supply Chain Act due diligence was something that was very much high on the agenda for this year as well. So we see firms looking to us to partner with them to develop for these types of requirements and solutions. So they're just a few things that we've seen as common trends of conversation in the industry.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I know that, like you say, you do partner with those different firms, to work on those specific cases. But in terms of your own product development, have you got any key product enhancements this year, to kind of keep up with some of those emerging trends that are no doubt going to keep evolving?
Yeah, so as we talk about evolution, innovation is a really key thing within the ESG data space, and the topic of ESG is forever advancing. The landscape of requirements from the industry always continues to expand. So one of the really great enhancements we've done over the last year at RepRisk was our geospatial analytics. So this development was built to reveal proximity related risk for infrastructure projects. And that was about identifying those that are near biodiversity sensitive sites as well as key protected areas. So what we did was the overlay of geospatial satellite analytics alongside project data like ownership, operations, assets. That combination can really reveal analytics that address impact on nature. And that allows firms to consider things like whether a mine in their portfolio overlaps with an Alliance for Zero Extinction site that's potentially housing the last of a remaining member of an endangered species. You can also look at things like, is a refinery near any legally recognized protected sites? So that enhancement, that development with RepRisk will become even more important when we look to things like the Task Force for Nature-related Financial Disclosures and other such regulations coming down the line that are specifically linked to nature and physical risk activity. So that was a really key advancement for us this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you say, TNFD came out in September, so really timely there. And it's really good to hear an on the ground case study of how that's being implemented, because we often talk about, ESG risk data challenges, but sometimes it's hard to kind of visualize where the impact comes from and what's actually being measured and things. So that's a really great example. And when it comes to looking at ESG risk, why is it important in both the financial services space and the corporate space? Because you touched on some of those issues like human rights earlier. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so ESG risk assessment and ongoing management is a very integral part of due diligence for any organization. And there's many reasons behind this need for greater transparency on ESG risk. So whether it's investor reporting, whether it's societal pressures, internal policies, employee relations, external regulations, they're all things that are driving the need for greater focus from both the financial services and the corporate space. So moving forward, I think that there will be things like indirect risk and the implications of third-party relationships that will add more pressure to firms. It will make things like greenwashing, misleading communications of even greater risk and bigger challenge for them. So therefore, I think looking at data, looking at technology to really support and enable a more transparent risk management process will be a key driver towards responsible business conduct, which is what we're all trying to achieve. And this should very much continue to be, at the forefront of strategic goals for companies moving forward as well.
Yeah, really well said. Because like you say, I think sometimes people can, tick that box of, oh, it's ESG or it's not. But actually, when you look at a responsible business, across the board, in different business functions, that's what we're all trying to achieve there. So you've really hit the nail on the head. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what RepRisk delivers in the future. Obviously, you'll be partnering with us next year, so I'm sure that we'll hear more at our events and on this channel. So thanks so much, Maryse, for today.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to follow our YouTube channel for more content on challenges and opportunities in asset management, wealth management, and ESG. And don't forget to give this interview a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button.